welcome back to Southwest Victory Gardens, your resource for organic gardening here in the desert Southwest. My name is Brandon, and on this channel we talk all about how to grow food in a hotter and drier climate using fewer resources, fewer inputs, less water, and all while doing so in harmony with our Sonoran Desert ecosystem. So I want to welcome you back to my channel. If you like what you hear today, please like this video and please subscribe to my channel. We talk all about different things in regards to desert gardening. So if you think you might find that helpful, please subscribe, and we're going to be putting out lots of cool videos. So thank you so much. We're going to be continuing our discussion today on cover cropping. So in another video we showed you what to do at the end of the season. We took a hedge trimmer and we chopped down our cover crops doing like a chop and drop method, also called sheet composting. And we showed you 3 different ways that you can take your cover crops at the end of the season and what to do with it, right? So and if you want to check that video out, I'll put a link in the description or pop it around here somewhere. But today, what I want to focus on is how to plant your cover crop at the beginning of the season, right? So how to choose a cover crop, what to look for, and what different cover crops that we're going to be growing either in the warm season or in the cool season, right? So let's talk about the differences and a few different of those crops that will grow very well here in the Southwest. All right, so let's get right into it. First things first, what are you looking for when you want a cover crop? Well, you want a crop that's either going to produce a lot of biomass, meaning it's going to grow really quickly, and you can chop it down and chop it down and chop it down and keep creating more, compost for your soil or for your compost piles. Or you want a crop that produces nitrogen. So a legume that's going to take atmospheric nitrogen, take that, fix it into the soil so that other plants can then utilize that nitrogen that they otherwise would not be able to. All right, so biomass and nitrogen fixation. Those are the 2 things we're looking for in a cover crop, right? So, a very basic cover crop might be something like just oats, right? This is cat grass. But you can plant this. This is, if you look at the scientific name, this is just oats. You can grow oats in your garden bed and just chop them down maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the season, and you can get some good biomass production that way. You can also do any type of pea or beans or something like that, and obviously that makes a good cover crop because it fixes nitrogen, and then you also can get a good crop out of it. But if you want, you can also purchase just a pre-mixed blend, right? And so the one I really love, and the one that we just chopped down in our other video, is the winter cover crop blend from Peaceful Valley Farm Supply. That's groworganic.com, and they have something called the Soil Builder Blend, and I'll put a link in the description below also for this. But you can see here, this is a nice variety of oats and peas and beans and vetches and all sorts of other cover crops that are going to grow really well over the cool season. So starting in about mid to early September and all the way into January into the spring, you can continually plant this Soil Builder blend from Peaceful Valley Farm Supply. It's a really, really great blend for our cool season, and at any point during the season you can chop this down halfway and it'll just keep growing. It'll just keep growing. So it makes a really, really good crop. And look at all that diversity in the seed mix. So this makes a really, really great winter blend, and that's the one I'm going to recommend for you. So I'll put a link in the description below. All right, so again, that's our winter blend. What about our warm season or our hot season cover crops? Well, we're going to be thinking about a whole different selection of crops, but they still need to have those 2 qualities. They need to fix nitrogen, or they need to create biomass. So Peaceful Valley Farm Supply also has a summer or warm season cover crop blend, and I'll show you, zoom in on that label for you as well. But you can kind of see it here. It's basically mostly buckwheat with a little bit of cowpeas mixed in. So it's not a lot of real biodiversity in their summer blend compared to their winter blend. So you can see here on your left, the summer blend doesn't really have a lot in it, whereas on your right here, the winter blend's got a lot of biodiversity, right? So how can we take this mix and make it better? Well, I'm going to use this as my base. It's going to be like the starter, and I'm going to add some stuff to this to make it a little bit more diverse, so then it ends up looking at something like that, right? So you see, this is now our summer blend that we've added some stuff to it, and it's got a lot more biodiversity, right? So now it's looking more like something like that. All right, so if our main 2 crops in here are buckwheat and cowpea, what else can we add to that mix? Well, the first thing I'm going to recommend is any type of cowpea that you like. Cowpea or black-eyed pea are a really excellent crop to grow in the summer months here in Tucson. They grow really well in the heat. They need very little water. And they're really easy to grow. So a few of my favorites, this is called Bisbee Black. This is one of our more native cowpeas. It's more of an established variety. You can get that at Native Seed Search. Another native variety is the Tohono O'odham Black and White cowpea. Sometimes they're just called black and whites. But this is another naturalized variety. It does really well in our aridity and our hot and humid monsoons as well. And then we have a variety, this is called Colossus. I got this from Southern Exposure Seed Exchange, and you can see it's just a nice big fat cowpea, and this is just another one I like to add. Regardless of the variety, find a cowpea that you like and add 2 or 3 to this mix, and you can see it's going to be a lot more diverse rather than that just, one single cowpea in this one. All right, what else do you want to add to this mix? Well, I'm going to recommend a crop you've probably never heard of. But it's an awesome cover crop for growing in the summer months here in Tucson, and that is Sesbania. So Sesbania exaltata, its common name is the same as its scientific name, so that's easy to remember, is a really excellent cover crop because it does both produce nitrogen and grows a lot of biomass. This plant will grow 10, 12, 13 feet high, and at any point during the season you can chop it down and it'll just keep growing. So it creates a lot of biomass, but it also fixes nitrogen. It's a legume. Not only that, it's a native variety. This variety grows in riparian areas in the Sonoran Desert, so it's a native plant, so it basically can survive on rainfall. In fact, if you let this go to seed, it will just readily germinate throughout your garden. It's not quite invasive, but it does grow well enough in our native soil that it will just kind of sprout up wherever. So I think that makes it a really excellent choice. Okay, so Sesbania exaltata or Sesbania. Now you're probably not you're gonna have trouble finding seed for this. So if you want to try this out, leave me a comment in the description, or excuse me, leave me a comment down below, and maybe we can do like a seed exchange or something like that. I can mail you some of this. And like I said, once you plant 1 or 2 of these plants, you'll have it for the rest of your life. It does just reseed and reseed and reseed. So it's a really cool plant, Sesbania exaltata, and you can see that's a really nice portion of our mix. So the last thing you want to add to this mix, so you got buckwheat, cowpea, Sesbania, some type of clover. A crimson clover works really well. It's going to make a nice little flower. It's going to add some nitrogen in the soil, create a little bit of biomass. But it's more biodiversity, right? The more different types of crops we have, the more healthier the ecosystem in general is going to be, right? And so that's going to really do well. So this mix, you can start planting, I'd say around March, early March, mid-March, and all the way through the summer months, all the way through the monsoon and into the fall. You can continually plant this mix. But as soon as we get into September, you'll switch back to our winter blend here. And again, like at any point during the season, you can chop this down halfway and it'll keep growing and it'll keep growing. All right, so those are the 2 main seed mixes. You got your summer blend here, which we just discussed. You got your winter blend, but there's one last thing that you can do to really kick this up a notch and make these crops just go one step further, and that is to add an inoculant at the time of planting. Now, an inoculant is just a special bacteria that you can add to the seed mix before you plant, and then when those seeds start growing, that special bacteria that helps to fix nitrogen in the soil will be already there in place where the seeds are. So here's one variety. This is called Garden, and you can see it's a seed inoculant, and it's going to work for garden peas, sweet peas, beans, lima beans, and soybeans, right? So you want to find an inoculant that works specific to your cover crop. So this one and this one can actually be purchased together at Peaceful Valley Farm Supply. Now in the summer we have a different, this one is called Exceed, and you can see it's for peanuts, and it will also work well for cowpeas. So peanuts would also make another good summer cover crop. Lab makes another good cover crop. There's a lot of different things that you can grow that will either create biomass or fix nitrogen. So just find one that you like and stick with it. And it doesn't have to be even any of these. I'm going to put a link in the description from the University of Arizona on some different trials they did on different cover crops, so you can learn a little bit about them. And there's some information on Sesbania in there as well. So that's it. How do we get from this to this? Well, we're just going to add a bunch of stuff to it. and then we're going to have a really nice diverse cover crop for the summer, and then we got already our pre-purchase mix for the winter. So that's it, guys. You know, that's how you select a cover crop. You know, obviously there's going to be things that you can use as cover crops that I didn't discuss today, and definitely you can go ahead and plant those as well. These are just the ones that I know are going to do really well. I've grown both of these for many seasons over the last 6 or 7 years since we've been in business. So I know for a fact these ones are going to do well, but that's not to say there aren't others out there that you could try as well. So great. I really appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me today going over these different seed blends. If there was something I didn't cover that you really wanted to know, just leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to answer your questions there. You can also email me on my website. You can, find, there's lots of different ways to get in touch with me. And like I said, if you want to get a hold of some of this seed blend, leave a message down below and I'm happy to mail you some out. That's how I originally got Sesbania. Someone mailed me some, and then I planted it and I grew it, and then now I have a bunch, and now I can share it with others. So that's kind of the whole goal, right? So all right, we're gonna do some more videos on composting. It's Compost Awareness Week, so check back and see. We're gonna do some worm composting videos, on some bin and heap composting. We're gonna build compost piles, all that cool stuff. So keep checking back, and if you have any suggestions for videos you'd like to see, you can also leave that in the comments below. So thank you so much. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. And y'all have a great day and happy gardening. All right, take care, guys.